On the Jeff Crilley Show, we'll talk to the president and CEO of a local bank that is leading the way when it comes to serving the underbanked communities of DFW. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I remember coming to Fox 4 in Dallas in the early 90s, and the story back then was nobody is investing and putting serious capital south of I-30. And then when I left in 2008, they were still talking about it, and they're still talking about it now. But that narrative is starting to change thanks to people like my next guest, Bill Lowe. He's the president and CEO of Texas Brand Bank. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Well, let's talk about the investment that you're making in some of these underserved communities.
Sure. Well, we're going at it several-fold. Probably the primary thing we've done recently was in 2018, we opened a branch banking office in the Cedars. And as far as we know, we're the only bank in the Cedars. And I don't know the last time anybody opened a branch down in that area, but it's certainly been many, many years.
Yes.
And since that time, even before, but especially since that time, we have put out a pretty significant amount of loans in the area of southern Dallas County, south of I-30. It's been I think they talk about food deserts where there's no grocery stores. We think it's a banking desert.
Yes.
And
I applaud you because like we were talking off the air that if you go up to West Plano, there's a bank on every street corner.
Correct.
You guys took a bold move, and you're getting recognized for it. There's a great article that we want to show on the screen from D Magazine, North Texas's fastest growing community banks, and you're there. So I know it takes bold leadership to do this. Why did you guys decide to go this route?
You know, a lot of reasons. You know, we were wanting to grow and expand, and so we started searching the area and what made sense. And as you mentioned, you know, West Plano, with all due respect to them, you know, our research indicated there was nearly 200 banks or bank branches in West Plano. There were 0 in the Cedars, south side area. So it seemed to us that that's the place to go. We've since then also opened in Deep Ellum, which likewise did not have a bank. And we're under construction in an office in West Oak Cliff where there's no community banks. There's a couple of other large banks. And we just think that's what makes sense.
And I applaud you for that. We're going to put a map up so you can see these locations. And I think you're going to be richly rewarded, Bill, because these banks are going to take off and these neighborhoods are going to take off because of some of the loans that you're making. Let's talk about that. You know, the PPP loan has been in the news, and famously it was in the news because there was some inequity. But
Correct.
You guys are making great strides in righting that wrong.
Certainly, we hope so. I mean, you know, our position has been we have made PPP loans basically to anyone that's walked in the door, or emailed, whatever, in the Metroplex. Now, obviously, you know, we at our small size, we can't very much go out of the area, much less out of the state. But last time we made PPP loans equal to 2 times our capital, which percentage-wise put us pretty near the top. And approximately 3/4 of those were people that were not customers of the bank, or prior customers. Since then, fortunately, a whole bunch of them have converted. The rest we're still working on.
No, but I mean, honestly, but by you making that investment, it's a good faith gesture, and they deserve your business. I mean, it's wonderful what you're doing. I know a nonprofit that both of us are passionate about is the Advanced Community Fund. Let's go ahead and put that on the screen.
Correct.
Talk a little bit about this wonderful organization and your involvement.
Sure. We're have been working with them to assist with financing, which, like any firms, all firms need capital to do what they do, and we're trying to provide capital to help them expand their reach in these underserved, underbanked neighborhoods. And Mike Yarborough and his team, I think, are off to a great start, and we're excited to help them.
Absolutely, and when the dollars start to flow, sometimes it takes great organizations like yours to lead the way, and when other people see what's going on, I'm sure they will follow.
Well, I'll steal a line from a banker friend of mine. I'd like to take credit for it, but I can't, and that is that, businesses don't follow banks. Banks follow businesses, and so, banks look for opportunities where the business is there to provide our services. This is what we want, this is what we need, this is what we do, is to provide financing for businesses, firms of all sizes, to grow and expand.
Yes.
And we think that it has a very strong multiplying effect, that, when a company has funds to hire more employees, those employees are out in the neighborhood supporting other businesses, and so on and so forth.
Yes, well, I think you're very wise, because we're starting to see Trinity Groves take off, Cedars take off,
Right.
Deep Ellum is making a huge comeback, so I applaud you for that. We've only got a couple of minutes left, so I want to give you a chance to give some final thoughts. If somebody's watching this right now, what's the process? They just come to one of your locations?
Sure. Well, frankly, we've got multiple channels for people to come see us. Number one's our website, obviously, like everybody, it's no surprise. They can email, they can call, or they can come by. And the biggest thing we need, that all banks need, and we hear all the time that communities, both underserved and underbanked, and other communities, need help, is come ask us. We can only make loans to people that ask, as a general rule. And so for us to provide services, we need people to contact us. For example, right now, of course, the big focus is the second phase or third phase of the PPP program. And we've had a tremendous influx of applications, but we welcome more. But beyond that, non-PPP loans, come see us. And if not us, come see another local bank. That's okay. We're all in this together. Most of us are pretty much longtime Dallas people, and we want to help the area grow and expand.
Well, thank you for what you're doing and your vision, because I think it takes a bold, visionary leader like yourself to make that commitment. Somebody's got to be first.
Thank you very much.
You bet. We're going to put the website up to end this segment. TexasBrandBank.com is the website. Bill Lowe, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.